Hi everyone, I'm here to share with you the point of view of a city representative and to explain why interoperability is a very big topic for the cities. But first of all, I would like to express the concerns and the essentials of the cities. We are more and more facing new providers coming on the streets of our cities, on the pavements, and they deliver and they deploy many different assets we need to take care about. So to understand that the cities do not master really their own environment by now, and we have to take into consideration that those new providers are coming straight to the citizen without the intermediation of a city representative. So, what's essentials for the public sector? I think we have three different topics we have to take care about. The first one is, of course, ICT, which is the lever to help cities to make the decisions. We need governance. We have so many stakeholders acting on the perimeter of the city that we have to make them talk together and to reorganize the cities to take these providers into account and these stakeholders. And the third one, which is not the last one, is to take care about citizen. More to take care about citizen is to really engage the citizen in the process of making the city change. So, going to the point of interoperability, I wanted to share this interesting slide about just one service of mobility, and you can see, I won't explain all the different layers, but you can easily understand that every of these services have to talk together in order to be efficient for the citizen. So in this case, we have to take care about the vendor lock-in, because we need to enlarge, to implement those services on the perimeter of the city. So we have to take care about avoiding the vendor lock-in. How to do so? And what if we don't take care about interoperability? This is just an example of what's happened in India last year. The government, due to pollution issues, wanted to really roll out very quickly new EV cars, but to do so they had to choose between Japanese and Chinese cars because they didn't use the same plugs to recharge, to reload the batteries of these EVs. So that takes time. That's a cost for the cities. So if you don't take care about interoperability, you may have this kind of concerns. So we think that we need standards, but standards is not enough. Standards is the first step. When I took my position as a smart city project manager in Bordeaux, I understood that I had to talk with my different colleagues from the other departments, from the building department, from the energy department, from the electricity department, and so on. And I asked them every time I could meet them and discuss with them. I asked them what kind of standard they used. When I asked to the building department, he said, yes, we are fully standardized and we only use the KNX standard, so Schneider Electric. Then I went to the guy in charge of energy and he said, yes, we are fully standardized. but we use BACnet, which is also a very interesting standard. And so on and so forth. From the point of view of the security manager, it was Modbus. So I just wanted to clarify that if you just look after standards, you don't achieve what we are looking for. We can interconnect with different type of networks, LoRa, Wi-Fi, fiber optical, Sigfox, ADSL, so we have to interconnect all this stuff. So how can we really transform this heterogeneous infrastructure towards an interoperable and industrialized smart city, service-ready city? To do so, we made them discuss together all the different stakeholders of around the smart city, and we were involved in different cities network like Eurocities, like OASC, and we also involved the standardization bodies like ETSI, ETSI, which is the European Telecommunication Standard Institute. And thanks to the European project like Espresso, like Synchronicity, Sharing Cities, we made people work together and think about a common solution for the cities. The first outcome came from a European project which is Espresso, and this project designed this kind of scheme describing what should be a urban platform for cities. But as you can see on the slide, it's not really interesting for a city representative to understand all those different layers. It's only useful for the technicians, for the techies. And what we wanted to look after is this kind of stuff, which is just looking at the bottom side here, where is the interconnection of things at this point, all the data coming from the legacy systems, getting and collecting the data in this data lake, and then exposing data and making it useful for developers to develop new apps looking at those data. So we were thinking about a concept which is this one, which just describe all the pivotal points of interoperability more than looking at all the details of the platform. So we were convinced that if we just look at the pivotal point of interoperability, we could fix the different issues of the urban platform. And that's what we do, describing this one, what we call a northbound of the data platform, and this southbound of the data platform. And to prove it was something really which could be implemented on the ground, we decided to make a procurement in order to deploy sensors on lampposts, on EV chargers, on street access control, on energy management, on different kind of meters, water, gas, electricity meters, on smart bins. And to do so, we just described in the procurement a very important criteria for us, which was that sensors connectivity to this IoT network had to be compliant with the 182M specifications, which is something standardized at the ETSI level, but also at the ITU level. So it was quite easy for us just to write this sentence in the procurement. And thanks to this, we could get 8 different providers answering to our procurement. And on these 8 providers. We could have one which was SPI, which was the cheapest one, which was the best technical one, and which was the only compliant with the 1M2M specifications we wrote in the procurement. And thanks to this choice, we already implemented in Bordeaux this kind of stuff. So we have lampposts, we have EV chargers, we have different kind of meters, we have trash bins, which are all interconnected in a common platform. So we totally masterize the data collection of the city thanks to this kind of interoperable layer. But there is another step to go through something totally interoperable for cities, which is looking at the north band, so how to expose the data in a way which is totally open and freely accessible for developers. And this is this kind of specification we wanted to prove the concept, and the goal of this deployment is really to make the data collections from different data sources like open data, like IoT, like user apps, making them together and ease the way the developers could really provide new apps. To do so, thanks to another European project, Synchronicity, we had the opportunity to be part of an open call which could fund this development you have here, which is called ASAP value, because we wanted to get the value from the data we collected from the previous project. And thanks to this ASAP value, we developed a specific app which is dedicated to EV drivers and which allows people looking for an EV charger collecting the data from the weather forecast, from the automotive providers, from the EV chargers and the perimeter, from GIS data, made them together and providing to the EV driver the best EV chargers, compliant to the car, of course, but the next one which is already free for use. And that was a way we could really prove it was something that could work on the ground. So these are the two examples I wanted to share with you. Now we are looking to some other goals in Bordeaux, more looking at the 5G deployment. And on this topic, we are very much looking on something which could be everywhere in the city. So the lamppost is everywhere in the city. We have more than 80,000 lampposts in Bordeaux. So we are thinking about the way how to deploy 5G femtocells on this kind of lamppost in order to provide a very quick and very I would say very everywhere, something 5G network availability everywhere in the city, and that's what we were just launching now. Okay. And the last thing I wanted to share with you is that if we can have international agreements and standards, we will get more confidence, we will give more confidence for the public sector, and we will enlarge the markets for our business. So sharing experience, disseminating the best practices, and we will create a long-term partnerships between the cities, the academics, and the startups. And that's it for my presentation. So thank you very much for your attention.